Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. This is a full house. I love it. I'm super excited. I come to you tonight as a mom of 3 children, and most of you have met my daughter over there. It's 1/3 of them. And I come to you tonight as a part-time caregiver for my mother. She is still fairly independent, but we do make all the medical, health, and wellness decisions together. So anything from driving her around to bringing her to any appointment to helping her get prescriptions. So most of you in this room are caregivers of some capacity, is that correct? All right, so we know what a caregiver is. It's a mom of dependent children. It is a husband or a wife taking care of a loved one, a neighbor taking care of a neighbor. And one thing I actually learned from Lisa the other day was it could be a small child translating for their parents. So if their English is a second language, it could be something as simple as that. And I that never even clued into me. All right, so how many of you honestly feel exhausted right now? Exhausted. Okay. In 5 minutes, yeah. How many of you put yourself first when it comes to any sort of care? How many of you, oh, I got a hand, yay. How many of you would like to put yourself first so you could pour from a full heart and a full glass? I hope most people would. Okay? So, I guess you flip it? Yes. So this is a picture of me, and this encapsulates how exhausted, I'm laughing at my daughter, sorry. This encapsulates how exhausted I was. I was exhausted, I was in pain, I was depressed, and this right here was from years of me not listening to myself. Don't change it now. All right, so I'm gonna share with you a little bit of my story. I'm not ready to tell the whole story, but also 3 tips that I took into my own hands, and I researched myself and I did myself to make sure that I could give myself, number 1, to my children, and number 2, to anybody else that I'm gonna serve in this lifetime. All right, so I just gotta make sure I'm gonna get all right. So I'm 37. So 12 to 15 years of my life, so that includes most of my 20s, half of my 20s, I was ignoring my body. I was ignoring my body. My body was giving me physical cues, was giving me mental cues. So for example, I could sleep probably 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a night, and I would wake up exhausted. So who can relate to that? I was also dismissing a lot of feelings that I thought that I could never have. And the number 1 feeling I was dismissing for years was sadness. I didn't want to admit that I was sad in my life. And I made the excuse to myself, I'm a nurse, I'm a new mom, I was a single mom for a while. My life isn't bad, so why am I sad? I dismissed everything, absolutely everything. So about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, my body told me to stop. I was ignoring those cues, like I said, for 12 to 15 years, and all of a sudden, nothing. I could not do anything. I had children to look after. I had a family to look after. I had a mom to help. I had people to serve in my life, and I couldn't do it. I had enough energy, maybe to drive my kids to school, and then I'd come home on the couch thinking I could do something. I could do my dishes. I could watch Netflix, which we know takes a huge amount of commitment, but I couldn't even do anything. It really does, right? Like, you find a series and you really want to watch it. I couldn't even do that. So December came around last year, and I am a huge Christmas fan, huge. I love decorating for Christmas. I love being around people. My sister is one of the lights in my life. She played me for a month. So she got to be a mom, she got to cook, she got to clean, while I couldn't do anything. But guess what? I still ignored this. I was like, I'm fine, it's okay, I'll get over it. I'm tired, I'm sick. So earlier this year, and Lisa can attest to this, I was sitting in my house one day and I started crying. I was a hot mess, I was inconsolable. I was probably as red or more as I am now. And I was lucky enough to have I coin him unhusband. He's my soulmate, my partner, Brad. And I went down to him and I said, something is wrong and I need help. And I don't know where to go from here. I didn't know what to do. What do you do? How do you admit that something is wrong? You have other people to serve. You have a family to take care of. How do we admit that something is wrong? Because we want to give everything to the people we love, don't we? We really do. So we sat and discussed for a while what we should do and how I was feeling. So my symptoms of exhaustion were, well, number one, utter exhaustion. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't spend time with that little girl over there because it was too hard. It was too hard to focus. I had headaches all the time. All the time. Imagine this. Now this is leading up to a symptom that I had. You're driving, everything is good, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're drunk. So is that a dangerous combination? You bet it is. So I had brain fog as well, and that's how my brain fog presented. It honestly felt like I was drunk, so I was thinking, hey, I don't need to drink anymore. I could just get brain fog, and that's how it was. But it was unsafe when I was driving around family in the car, and then all of a sudden I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. On top of that, it was other symptoms. I was gaining weight. I was eating just sugar. I was actually drinking a lot of alcohol and drinking a lot of caffeine. So these were all symptoms of my utter exhaustion. So we decided to do 3 things. I was going to take action. I couldn't live life like this anymore. So we decided to put myself first. I don't know what that meant. I had no idea what that meant, but we decided to do it. And I decided to go see a medical doctor who I have had a family doctor for, since I was 16, I think. And I decided to go see a naturopath doctor. So my medical doctor told me, you need to calm down the stress in your life. Stop doing everything by yourself. Stop using the excuse, you don't need help, or everybody else comes first. That was great advice. I was like, I could do that, no problem. Went to my naturopath doctor, who was recommended to me, and after talking to him probably about an hour, excuse me, he had said to me, I know what's wrong with you. And I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of awesome. Yes, right? And you can do tests for it. As most of you know, naturopathic medicine tests are expensive and not covered. Or we could just start treatment right now. And I'm like, well, what's the big secret? He told me I had adrenal fatigue. So adrenal fatigue, in a very quick one sentence, is a collection of symptoms of the highest form of exhaustion. Okay? It presents differently in other people, or in I guess everybody it presents differently, pardon me. But at this point in time, I had no idea what this was. I was like, well, I'm tired. That's okay. So he put me on some supplements, gave me some little tips, like, you need to maybe journal. When you feel like you're in a stress state, step back, think about what you're doing. And they were really good tips, just like my medical doctor gave me. And I said, yes, I'm gonna get better. I could do what I want to do in my life. However, about 2 weeks after that appointment, my kids were fighting at the dinner table, as they do. They're 8, 10, and 13 now. And I was fed up. So I went upstairs. I'm like, you know what? I can't stand to hear them fight. I was lying on my bed, and the scariest thing happened to me. The scariest thing is I had thoughts of, I think there was one child in this room, it's mine, thoughts of taking my life. My kids are better off without me. My family's better off without me. What's the point? Am I ever gonna recover? am I going to recover? So needless to say, the things that I did, they didn't help me personally. They may help other people, but they didn't help me. So I decided to start researching and prioritizing 3 things in my life. So don't change it yet. And these 3 things that I have prioritized in my life has brought me from a state of just surviving, making excuses for myself, to a place where I friggin' love getting up in the morning. I love it. I love facing the day. I'm a hockey mom, and I have to be at the ice rink at 6:45 in the morning on a Saturday. Right? Who wants to do that? But I love doing it now. Okay, so who feels like they get enough sleep at night? Anybody? Yay! Who feels like they prioritize their sleep? I know Deb, so I know you would do that. All right, so we can go to the next. All right, prioritize your sleep. Now this is the number 1, even though I'm very, oh, that's not gonna be good. Even though I'm very passionate about nutrition, to me this is the number 1 thing that will help you take care of yourself. Will either help you avoid a state of exhaustion or recover from a state of exhaustion. So I don't know if can everybody see that with this plant?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go over them, they're right there. There's one word I forgot to put in there and I wasn't sure if I should, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Devote your bedroom to sleep and to play, nothing else. Sleep and play. So adults, you know what that means. All right. Now the one thing, see, she's like, what do you mean over there? The other thing that really helped me prioritize my sleep and get good sleeps was to turn off those darn electronics that we all love so much, 30 minutes to an hour before bed. Now, I don't do this every night because I'm an avid hockey fan and I'm darn well gonna watch those hockey games because we're doing really good. Does anybody know the score?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
2-0 against Oilers.
Like we're losing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can't win every game.
Well, we should. All right. Limit your caffeine and alcohol by the afternoon. So this can be a stimulant, obviously, or it could be a depressor. I have eliminated alcohol from my life, and that's a personal choice that I made, and I have limited my caffeine to just the morning. Reduce stress at night. This is my favorite one because everybody should have a bedtime routine. Aromatherapy, right, Jillian? Journaling, getting that off your mind. Meditation, calming your mind down. Anything that you think, even reading a book with a loved one. Anything you think that will help reduce your stress so your brain can calm down to go to sleep, try that. Now this is a challenge I'm going to challenge everybody in this room to do. Whatever your schedule looks like, you need to take your schedule and schedule in your sleep first. 7 to 8 hours is recommended for most people, most adults. And the other one is get help. So I am a part of the support group from Caregivers Alberta, and I've only at 2 meetings. I've been there once. I was at hockey with my son, with the other one. But it does help to have somebody there with you that can empathize with you or that can just listen, okay? I like to call them vent buddies. Vent buddies are great. All right, so the next slide is nutrition, yay. So how many of you think you eat proper nutrition? You have a balanced diet. That's really good. And how about your care recipients? Do they model or do they like what you eat at home? Rob, you're like, no. All right, so along with the healthy fats and protein, I would like everybody to try and eat the rainbow. And what I mean by that is make sure that you have at least 3 fruits or vegetables on every meal or every snack. The reason why I say this is it gives us the vitamins and minerals we need to thrive, to nourish our body. And it also gives us a fancy word, phytonutrients, so it's just nutrients from plants. Limit your added sugar and salt. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Drink water to quench your thirst, and that's why we have the sample of the blueberry orange water in the snack room, I guess you call it. And this is my favorite one, choose homemade snacks. We need proper nutrition to nourish our bodies, to recover from illness, from exhaustion, or to avoid it. Homemade snacks is your best bet, and it avoids those drive-thrus, which I love Tim Hortons drive-thru. I love my donuts, but I can't have them anymore. And I choose not to have them as well. All right, this next one is the third most important one. Oh no, I forgot about this. So this is an example of what we eat almost on a daily basis for meals in my house. And as you can see, there's 5 different colors, and these vegetables are available year-round at a grocery store and almost year-round at a farmer's market. So I'm not talking anything fancy. I'm just talking something that will give you the vitamins and minerals you need.
You ready for the next one now?
Yes. Okay, this is the third one. What gives you joy in life? If it's a family member, if it's a pet, if it's getting outside and walking, if it's making a snowman, anything that gives you joy in life, find that again, or find something that does. This will help you take time for yourself. And it's a plus if what gives you joy gives your care recipient joy too. It really is a plus. So what gives me joy? Hockey. We can change the slide. Hockey, but a few other things give me joy. Now, being with my family or my dog, she's beautiful, Gloria, she's 8 years old, in the mountains. That's my ultimate favorite place to relax. And the geeky side of me, what brings me joy is I actually love the conspiracy theory, everything Bigfoot. And I found him, and he's on Banff Ave, like the main street there. Right, Sasquatch, yeah, she is too. All right, so let's recap this. So the next slide, please. What gives you, the 3 top things that help me recover and may bring some relief in your life as a caregiver was sleep, nutrition, and joy in my life. So the next slide here is compared to the first slide. Does it look like I'm happier? Does it look like I enjoy my life? And also, I love pumpkins. Everything pumpkin. I wish I could have it year-round. But
At the Pumpkin Festival.
that's right. I live my life with joy. I live my life with light. And there are days too where I am tired still and where I am exhausted, and nights where I don't get sleep. But guess what? I refocus the next morning and I am able to carry on with my recovery journey. So I'm on a mission to help, it did say women in there, but it's caregivers too. Enjoy life again and put yourself first, because those 3 things may not take much time away from your care recipient because we put them first, right? But we got to put ourselves first and not feel guilty about it. Thanks.
So I did get to see Jenni at her worst in the spring. And then we actually went to a conference together for a weekend and spent the whole weekend. And even at then, she's like, Lisa, I don't know if I can even make it. You did, but it was exhausting. But you did leave a little bit early. And then I, got to see her again here recently. And the difference in her is like magic. You can just see the light in her. And now, she's really passionate to help others with the fatigue and the adrenal, stuff that's happening, how she can actually help you. And I do have to say, she has a really good, for those who have kids here or know people who have kids, she has a really good way of involving them in doing stuff in the kitchen and making them feel a part of everything. So I encourage you to go talk to Jenni. She does have some snack treats over there with the recipes that we've put out specifically. Thank you so much, Jenni.